Okay, I think we're live on Facebook. My internet has been playing up for a couple of days. It's very slow, so I apologize if this is a bit patchy, but hopefully we're all good to go. If you do happen to be watching, just let me know in the comments that this is all working and it's all good. So this is episode number 9 of the struggle series. We're rapidly approaching the end of this struggle series. I had planned to do 10 videos. This particular one, it's a little bit off piece actually, because it's not something that was on my list, but I've had a few people say to me recently that they're really struggling with their sleep and it's affecting them, which, given the changes that we're currently experiencing at the moment, it's not surprising. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this today. I don't want this to just end up being about the physical aspects of sleep. I want to dig a little bit into the mental side of it, because most of us know what not to do if we want to sleep, but we may not know how to help calm the mind in order to sleep. So we'll look at that a little bit. We're going to look at it from 3 perspectives. So the physiological, so your physical side of it, psychological, the mental side of it, and then the more practical stuff. And I'll give you some tips for each of those areas around helping improve your sleep. As a general rule, during times of stress or significant change, whatever kind of change or stress that is, your sleep will probably suffer. And the repercussions of that can be pretty significant. On a physical level, your hormones are going to suffer, so your energy levels will drop, sex drive is going to drop, your blood pressure can rise, which can increase your risk of cardiovascular diseases like stroke, heart attack. In some instances, the lack of sleep has been thought to be so carcinogenic that it can actually cause cancer for some people. It can cause weight gain, it can cause diabetes. There's so many different types of diseases that are caused by lack of sleep, because it's so damaging to your immune system, because you're not getting that time to restore and to heal the body. From a mental standpoint, your brain suffers as well. You can't form memories, you increase your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia, because the chemical makeup of your brain actually changes. The proteins in your brain change. So within that, you're going to struggle with general cognition, reaction times. It's almost similar to being drunk. So, you know, and you imagine how dangerous that is when you are trying to drive and just perform day-to-day tasks. It's like trying to go through your day whilst drunk. You could see increases in anxiety, depression, paranoia, all kinds of mental health illnesses. At the end of the day, lack of sleep is like low-level brain damage, and the only thing that can help to repair that is more sleep. So when we're lacking in sleep, we're dramatically upsetting the balance. And we already know, because I talk about it a lot, when the balance gets upset, things will go wrong. We will go wrong. For me personally, I've had issues sleeping on and off for years, which is weird, because when I was a child, like right from being born, I used to just sleep for 12 hours and, you know, sleep all the time. But as I've grown and things have changed, it's become a little bit more difficult. So it's something that I have started tracking and looking at the data and really digging into, because I know the effects of lack of sleep, and it's not something that, you know, I'm prepared to deal with. I want to optimize my life. I want to perform well. So sleep was a part of that. I started using my Oura ring. So that is my sleep tracker. It's one of the most advanced sleep trackers that there is out there. And I know from this data that if, you know, I do certain things or I don't do certain things, I'm going to sleep better. And I'm always looking for trends within my sleep patterns. So, for example, I know that if I don't eat in the evening, I don't sleep well. If I train too late in the evening, I don't sleep well. If I've not moved enough during the day, I don't sleep well. If I don't wear my light blockers when I'm on the laptop, then I don't sleep well. All this information allows me to track my own sleep and to figure out what works best for me, and then to form a routine around that, which is more of the practical side. But it's the application of that data that's allowed me to figure out what works best for me personally. At the end of the day, having a sleep routine that is built on this data is very important, because we are creatures of habit and we thrive on routine. We do well with routine. And most of us will have routines for all different areas of our life. So why not have one for something that is as important as sleep? Most of us don't. We just get up, we go to bed, we get up, we go to bed. We don't give it the level of thought that it requires. So to give you an idea on how to build a routine, we need to consider a few things. The first thing we want to consider is actually having a consistent sleep and wake time. Your body clock gets accustomed to this, and you'll actually find yourself waking up without an alarm clock if you need to. But the more you mess with that, the worse things get. Your body wants to wake up and go to sleep at specific times, and it wants to work around those times. So if you start fluctuating in those, everything becomes a mess. So that's always the first place to start. Have a set time to be in bed at, and then a set time to get up. Even if when you go to bed, you can't fall asleep straight away, that's fine. Just aim to be in bed at that time and then get up at that same time the next morning, irrespective of whether you're knackered or not. Just learn to get up and go to bed at the same time. Nutrition would be the second area that I would focus on. So limiting your caffeine intake in the afternoon and into the evening. You can try some herbal teas in the evening, that works well, some caffeine ones. Chamomile is good, but don't go too mad with it, because if you leave it in the tea bag for too long, it actually ends up being caffeinated. So there's, well, not so much caffeinated, but stimulative and keeping you awake. So those types of things can work well. Eating is a funny one. It's very personal. As I said earlier, if I don't eat before bed, I can't sleep because I'm hungry. I don't like being hungry. So you got to figure that out for yourself. A lot of people can't sleep well if they've got a full stomach. So you've got to figure that out on your own. But what I will say, if you are eating before sleeping, don't load up on sugar and salt, because the sugar is going to make you buzz and you're going to struggle to sleep. And the salt will make you wake up in the middle of the night with a mouth like Gandhi's flip-flop. And then you're going to need to get up to get a drink. And then you're going to wake up again because you're going to need to pee. So just be mindful of what it is you're actually eating and the effects of that. Supplements can help. Zinc and magnesium is a popular one that's been shown in many scientific studies to help. I've always found the effects to be really low level and almost negligible, so it's not something that I feel willing to invest in consistently. I did find that the amino acid L-tryptophan worked well for me, but I wouldn't recommend it on the basis that it has been shown to cause muscle and joint pains for some people in some studies. So I'd be careful with it as a supplement, but it is naturally occurring in eggs and turkey. So, you can eat those before bed to get a more natural hit from that. And that's a good one. It's why when you smash your Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, you end up in a turkey coma, because it's that amino acid that helps you drift off, helps you fall asleep. Then we've got your environment and your sleep hygiene. So showering, sleeping in something that's comfortable, making sure the room is dark enough, making sure it's not too hot. Most people sleep in rooms that are way too hot. Your body temperature should drop naturally when you sleep, and it's one of the telltale signs that you're sleeping well. It's something I always look at when I look at my sleep stats the next day. Has my body temperature dropped? If it has, then I've probably slept well. If it's stayed up, then I know I've not slept well. A lot of people leave the heating on, so try turning that off. Try opening the windows where possible, because that'll make a big difference. And then the other thing is just taking time to actually wind down before bed. Because we live in a fast world, everyone's still doing everything, like right up until the point where they're ready to go to bed. People are working or preparing things or doing this, that, and the other. And that's not helpful. You need to take a little bit of time to wind down. For me personally, I like to journal, reflect on the day, do a little bit of a brain dump. So write down anything that's in my mind, so it's not bouncing around when I'm trying to sleep. And then doing some breathing work, just literally trying to shift the state into one where we're ready to sleep. So bringing the brain waves down. So we go down from theta into delta, which is the sleep brainwave. And then obviously we go through our various sleep stages. So we've got the REM sleep, we've got the deep sleep, your light sleep, all those different stages. And I know it seems like a lot, But it's only 4 key areas really, and you can build it up gradually. So you can start with one piece at a time, and some of those pieces might already be in place and the things that you already do, and you can just improve upon those or add in these extra little bits to help bolster your sleep and boost it up even more. So you can bypass the things that you're already doing and then just focus on something else, focus on the next bit. For me personally, my ideal routine would see me having a shower, eating a fairly large meal of something that's quite healthy and protein rich, wash it all down with some chamomile tea, watch a bit of TV for a bit because that helps me just to take my mind off things. But I would be wearing some kind of light blockers. These are the ones I wear when I work. I've got 3 pairs. They all have differing levels of light blocking. The ones that I would ideally wear before sleep actually have red lenses, and they block out most of the light, because if you minimize screen time in the afternoon and through into the evening, you're going to notice a big difference. So wearing the light blockers helps that. It still allows me to watch TV, but it stops the amount of blue light going in, because blue light obviously stimulates you and keeps you awake. They are something I don't wear enough. I should wear them more, because I do notice the difference between when I wear them and when I don't. I get so much more deep sleep when I actually wear those glasses. And that was one of the first things I experimented with. And then obviously once I've gone through that routine, I'd like to be in bed by 10 o'clock. I'd journal, do the breath work, and then fall asleep, and then get up at a set time the next day. It's very simple, but it works. So I would encourage you to try and build your own sleep routine around what works for you and experiment with these things. And every time you try something, track the data over a period of 5 to 7 days and then just adjust it based on what you found. So you should be treating your sleep like anything else. If you want to improve it, you need to track the data, you need to analyze it, you need to experiment until you find a formula that works. So the 4 main areas that I've given you there are your starting point. They're the pieces of the puzzle that you can start to put together. If you have any questions about this or you want some more info, just throw me a comment and I'll get back to you on that. But that's everything for today. I'm going to be back on Saturday for the 10th episode in the Struggle series. If you're not already in the Limitless group and you need some more in-depth strategies for helping yourself get through this difficult period, please jump in there. You can catch up on the seminar that I did a couple of weeks ago, plus partake in all the Monday morning training sessions and all the various other free bits and pieces. So I'll drop you a link in the comments now and you can join us. Other than that, I'll see you on Saturday. Take care.